Hello, welcome to another TV repair. Hope you're well. I haven't done much recently. I've tried to, but it's been too hot. And I've just not been in the mood. I'm quite fortunate in this business where if not that I don't have to work, because I do have to work. I have to pay bills like everybody else. But I haven't got a nagging boss behind me, so the way I work for myself is that if I take 2 or 3 days off because it's too hot or I can't be bothered, then I just make sure I catch up at a convenient time, sometimes working late at night, which I prefer doing anyway. We've got an Hitachi 50-inch to inspect, possible backlights. Picture is flickering. I don't think it's the screen. We'll do that in a second, but I just want you to have a look at this. This will be a video right after I do this. This was a gift. It's not very often somebody gives you a 4K 50-inch, well, I think it's a 49. So a 49-inch 4K LG TV. Obviously, it's faulty. And they didn't want to take the gamble on paying out for a repair and it failing again later, which is fair enough because it's not a backlight on this. I thought it was originally. This is the one that is. It's stuck on the LG logo, and the backlights aren't coming on. So if you do the torch test, you see a logo. And I'm guessing main board. I have not been able to source a main board for this, which is another reason why the customers just said, "Oh, do you want it for parts? You keep it. We'll go and buy another one." And I was going to keep it for parts. I was going to take it up the lockup, and I did a bit of research. And there is another LG 49-inch which uses the same main board and uses the same screen, different model number, and I managed to find a main board from that. Now, that can still trip you up. It is a bit of a gamble, so I've got 2 gambles coming up here. I'm quite excited about this TV. It's a nice TV. I have the 55-inch at home. But anyway, I'm hoping that the main board I'm going to put in, which I got pretty reasonable, I think it was about 40 quid. And if that gifts me a nice 49-inch 4K, I'll be happy with that. But as I say, it could still have a fault. The main board may not be absolutely correct for it. You do get tripped up on these things, but hopefully I'm going to be okay. Right, so it is getting to a stage in buying TVs now for the consumer where a 50-inch smart TV is not a big deal. I always thought a 50-inch, well, a couple of years ago, a 50-inch TV was a big deal. 50-inch smart TV was a very big deal. Let's switch this on. We do get a flashing standby light, you may see. And we get a flash of a picture. I don't know if you saw the flash of a picture, but if not, here it comes again. When I say a flash of a picture, a flash of a Hitachi logo, and that usually confirms to me that the TV is now gone into standby. Okay. No. Possibly it was in standby anyway. We got a little flash. Now, when I powered this on earlier, just to make sure it was repairable, I actually got a picture, but it was flickering and then disappeared. So it looks like a backlight issue. I do believe we have the backlights in. So what we're going to do is take this to bits and have a go. For those who love model numbers and stuff like that, the model number in question this time is Hitachi 50 HYT 62U. 50-inch smart TV, as we say. I think this is the Wi-Fi model. They did a 42-inch of this and didn't make it Wi-Fi. I have no idea why a smart TV would not be Wi-Fi, and the amount of customers that have complained whenever they've bought this, thought it was faulty. But of course it's not faulty, it just didn't have a built-in Wi-Fi. You could buy a Wi-Fi card for it for a few pounds, I think £20, something like that, on eBay. But of course the customers want to get it home, link it to their Wi-Fi, looks like I'm going to struggle a bit. I would imagine that this is the first time this TV has been taken apart. It's acting like there's still a screw in, and I can assure you there is not still a screw in. It's just the clips, as you can hear. There we go. Once you're kind of a quarter into it, the rest becomes a bit of a doddle. Famous last words. Right. Yes. This one has the built-in Wi-Fi card. Only 2 HDMIs? Yeah, 2 HDMIs, 2 USBs. That's quite surprising for a 50-inch. There's 500 UNDC. Usual 17 IPS 20. Not necessarily one of Vestel's most reliable boards. And of course the backlight's plugged in here, which I'm going to disconnect if I'm going to play with. It's always pointless showing you how to take a screen off because, well, A, I've done it so many times in other videos. And B, every screen in every unit, every model is different. You have to treat it different, you know where the bits of tapes are, or if there's a couple of screws, there's always a couple of screws on this one. I'm now just getting the clips up. I don't believe, as I said before, this TV has been repaired, but in saying that, there was a little plastic stub missing which holds the screen tabs down. It should have had 4, it had 3. So 1 had gone. But you can usually tell if someone's been in. Sometimes it's screws. Unless it's, you know, a proper repair company. And 2, it's always easier to get into. If someone's been into a TV before, second time around, it's always easier to get into. And this is not easy to get into. You really have to work the clips. And if you've worked on a Vestel set before, you will know that they love the clips. They love the clips. You just have to give it the right amount of tension. So I'm sounding like I know what I'm doing here now, don't I? they're out of tension, and then and then it comes off very easily. Quick, edit that. Here we go. Seven strips? Yes, I would have said 6. Didn't realise there's 7 strips in this. 7 strips of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anyway, we haven't really diagnosed it as a backlight yet, so I'm just trying to get it to focus. That's how you get it to focus. Why didn't you tell me that last time? A couple of videos ago, I really struggled to get that camera in focus. Let's see if that keeps it in focus. Okay. That's too bright though, because we want to see the LEDs light up. Let's start with strip number 7. All present and complete. As you can possibly see, my arm's in the way. Tough. Take my word for it. Strip 6. 1 out. Strip 5. 1 out. Strip 4. All working. Strip 3. 2 out. Strip 2, all working. Strip 1, all working. So we're told there's about 4 LEDs not working. My plan is going to be to botch it in Scarpa. No, plan is going to be to replace all. That's if I've got them. I thought there were only 6 sets. No, we have 7. Masking tape. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Anyway. We have the backlights, we have the technology, we can rebuild it. Well, we kind of have the technology. Right, just turning the screen supports. To a horizontal angle. They haven't used glue on these, so it means they just come out nicely. On the 40-inch and the 42-inch, they glue them up. They do, they glue them up. And it means you have to go faffing around with the main board. Hopefully this hasn't been excessively glued down, and it hasn't. Bit of tape there. Bit of tape there. These bits of tape on the side definitely tell me that no one's been in here before. Lots of tape for a Vestel. Fair to say that Vestel have gone overboard with the tape. Right, where shall we start? Shall we start with 2Bs? Sometimes you can put a little heat on these with a hairdryer or a heat gun. It's okay to be quite forceful at the bottom end. When you get to the top end here, when you get to the top end here, it's worth just holding back because you don't want to snap the circuit board part. Otherwise, then you're going to have to be getting your soldering iron out and doing traces and anyway, 2B's coming out. Let's find 2B's to go in. No sticky tape on the back of these, but not needed because there's still glue residue from the original backlights. They will hold it in mighty fine. And again, 2Bs, there are 3Bs. So let's do the other B. Again, not being too gentle. I'm not going to reuse these backlights, even the ones that are in working order. I don't even keep them for emergencies anymore. They'll go straight in the bin. Right. Then the A's. Don't do them in any particular order. So technically they don't have a C. I thought they would have always called the middle one C. So it's 4Bs and 4As. Well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Just a quick reminder, as you know, I've been caught out before, more than once. But when I was doing the testing with my LED tester, I did ensure, especially on Vestels and especially this model, that I unplugged the backlights from the power board, because the backlights get their feed from the power board, probably about 130, maybe 140 volts DC. We can measure that later and see. Also, I noticed on the back, I don't know if you noticed on the back when I showed you the label earlier, it said maximum current 100 watts. That's it, all in, isn't it? All in. So the old ones can go in a box. Now you're probably thinking there's somebody that could use the working ones, and that's the case, but how long for, you know? If they're starting to fail now, I wouldn't sell them to anybody, but if anybody wanted them, they could have them, but it wouldn't repair your TV, or if it did, it wouldn't do it for long. Right, so let's plug in and see. Right, I'm going to switch it on and see what happens. I may have to plug in the IR receiver to... No, I don't. I can do it from the main board on this, can't I? Because it's a Vestel. Ooh, there we are. They're on. That would be the little bit where it flashes up the Hitachi logo. So let's just go to that main board switch and bring them on properly. Ooh, and they're just settling down now. Don't know what they're... Oh, you can see a slight shimmer on screen. Where's the multimeter? Have I put it away in a tidy sort of fashion? Which means... heaven knows where it is. No. It's just gone. It's here. Right. I'm not too sure if you can read what it says, but don't panic. I will put it in a... we want DC. That's AC. That's DC. It normally is in DC by default, so I'm just surprised. What did I say, 120 volts? No, I said more, didn't I? Well, at the moment there, you can't see, can you? You can't see, because wobbly cam is not pointing in the direction we want wobbly cam to point. Blimey. And you still can't see. Now you can. Now you're going to be able to see. If I switch over now, there you go. Right. So currently, if you pardon the pun, we have a DC voltage of 159.8. Shall we say 160 for cash? But of course, the lights have dimmed. So what I'm going to do is switch off, switch on again, and see what it's like when it comes up full. As long as it does come up full. Are you ready? 201. I have to... Oh. I really want... Which side's the main board? Alright, I'm hoping the camera's not going to wobble over and I can do the switch. Right, I think I've done the switch. So I think now they're going to be coming on. Oh, maybe I didn't do the switch. Blast. Still on standby, is it? Jolly good, right? Now it will. Yeah, so 201.3. It goes off, then we should get it to come back on now. Yeah, 201.3, and then it's going to drop, and you see it drop there. It drops quite a bit. So, 40 volts. And I don't know what setting this is on at the moment because we haven't got the screen in, so we can't tell. But I'm guessing this is probably going to be an eco setting. TV is relatively back together again. Have we gone out of focus? Where's my focuser? Thank you. I'm just going to do my OCD bit and straighten it out. Okay. I haven't put screws in the back yet, but everything is back in and connected as it should be. What have I gone over here for? It's when you get to a certain age, you just walk somewhere and you forget why you've walked there. I think I've come here for the remote control. Right, let's switch it on. I don't know if you can see it, the light here. No, you can't, I don't think. No, anyway. Aha! We have the Hitachi sign, then it'll go back to standby. So I'm going to turn it back on, so that will come on again. We're going to do this 100 watt test thing in a second as well. Let me switch that off. Right, I've plugged, well, there's a nice blue screen. I've plugged something into one of the HDMIs. Bearing in mind there's only two HDMIs, so it's either going to HDMI 2 or 1, and since 2's not giving us a picture, I rather hope that will. There you go. There's my pretty test picture. So let's test the backlight setting. What was it on? Picture. Cool, it was on dynamic. Cool. What? Power save mode disabled. Well. I'm taking it down to natural. Backlights on auto. Power save mode disabled. I'm going to put it on medium for the new setting. The customer can obviously change all that. Now, just under 3 amps we're taking. (198 kilowatts per hour). And the watts at the moment, 67. Well, almost 68. Yeah, 68 watts, and it did say maximum. So I'm just going to switch to wobbly cam. Hang on a second. Right, sorry, I'm just. Right, so it said on the back of the label maximum watts is 100. So that's maximum what's possible with this TV. I've turned the backlight setting down so we're on 68 watts. I saw a little flash on the screen earlier, which is quite a little white flash. Or maybe my eyes were deceiving me. So what I'm going to do, let's do the menu. You'll see me do the menu. And I'm going to go to picture. Let's take that back up to full blast, which is dynamic. Dynamic runs everything at full blast. So I'm going to turn the backlights to medium, and it turns the watts down to 75, 76. Let's just go back to high. Goes up to 88, 89 watts. Back down to medium again. What about low? Low backlights, 62. 62. You can switch the screen off, but I'm not going to bother doing that. Right, backlights at medium. So, anyway, that was just a little test. So there we go, a Hitachi 50-inch. New backlights in, 7 new strips. It will have a year's warranty. I'm going to put the screws in, I'm going to give it a polish. And it's job done. Oh, the next job, while I've got wobbly cam, the next video I'm going to do, I'm quite excited about this because it's a TV that was gifted to me. The customer, I think I mentioned it earlier, didn't I? I am repeating myself a lot these days. So just over here, we are going to put a main board in that. That was a 4K LG Smart TV. Customer didn't want to wait for it to be repaired and was looking for any excuse to buy a new one. So they gifted it to me. Obviously faulty. This is the one that's got the LG logo stuck on and no backlights. You have to shine a torch to see it. I've managed to source a main board. And tomorrow we're going to stick that main board in. I'll be very happy if it works. Could do with some good news this week. But that's going to be the next job. The Hitachi is done.